Hey, everyone, and welcome. So 260 of the 8-Bit Geek. If you're new around here, well, you need to know what you're getting into. An 8-Bit Geek is just like Blockbuster Video. While highly successful at first, and for many years, better services came along, outdid Blockbuster, took customers away. Not long after that, Blockbuster was distant memory. And this intro was pretty much lost on any millennial because they just questioned, what the fuck is a Blockbuster? Exactly. I'm Jeremy. With me today are two men who only use Blockbuster for the XXX section.
Whoa. No. Blockbuster never had a XXX section. I would have been in it.
Yeah.
The worst they had was youth restricted viewing, which I still was able to rent because I knew all the people who worked there. Not saying that I did on a weekly basis. Let's just say, but no, Blockbuster was super prudish. Like even when Showgirls came out, they had like a special rated R version. Like they didn't get the NC-17 version. They got like a watered down version.
I swear, unless my mom was taking me to some other weird place, I swear that there was a XXX section at the Blockbuster by our house.
No, there was video stores that had it.
Yeah, some video stores did, but not Blockbuster.
They had like it was like the XXX section was always like in this weird corner that they had like either a beaded curtain or some kind of curtain around it.
Curtain.
And then you had to be old enough to go in through the curtain. That was life goals for me, but I never. By the time I was 18, movies were pretty much going away.
Isn't that
movies were?
Movies, yeah. Steven Spielberg came out and said, "Hey, movies is over," and then he like dropped the mic and left.
We're done with this shit. All going to television. That's where the future is.
He's not wrong.
He was right, but about 20 years too early.
Yeah, way to go, Steven Seagalsberg.
Thanks, Nocturnal, for the subscription.
Yeah, Nocturnal with the subscription. Let's all give him one big one. Miss.
You're cutting out, Kev. I didn't hear shit you just
say. Let's homies.
I said, let's give him one for the homies.
I've got Google Internet. It never fails.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Then what does it have to do with, Kev?
I don't know. What's love got to do with it?
I don't know, because your camera's not great tonight. It's a little grainy.
Is it really?
Yeah, and your audio's not very great tonight.
Are you serious?
Jared's perfect. Jared is like the shining example of perfection over here.
Fuck that guy.
Listen, you told me to get my shit together, and I did.
It looks good on my stream.
Well, that's
because you're looking at your video source, you nerd.
No, I'm looking at the Twitch stream. I hate you guys. You guys aren't my real.
Hold on. I want to bring it back.
Okay, bring it back.
Blockbuster and how your mom took you to some like pervert buster,
porno Blockbuster. Yeah.
First of all, Doug, did you
Pete's porno corner. What?
Porno corner.
Pete's porno corner.
Say that 5 times fast.
Exactly.
Porno corner.
Pete's porno.
Okay, what?
Do it.
What?
Were you even old enough to experience a Blockbuster?
Yes. Oh my God. I'm only like what? 18 years younger than you.
It's just you're the baby here. So I'm only what? 10 years younger?
I said 18, but yeah.
Oh, damn.
18 years younger than you.
You old as fuck.
Oh, as fuck. Y'all some grandpas up in this bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kev's gonna die in the next year, so.
That's very true. The fucking lifestyle I'm leading. Can't even talk right. R.I.P. me.
Yeah, no, Blockbusters were around.
I have very distinct memories of Blockbuster. I remember 2 things. So I used to there was no Blockbuster that was on my corner or anything. I had to walk a good distance. I probably had to spend a 30-minute walk to get there. And my mom didn't have a car, so that's what I did generally on the weekends is I went to rent a video game or a movie or both. And I used to walk all the way up to Blockbuster. Now, I used to hang out at Blockbuster too, because I don't know if you guys remember, but they used to have the video games systems all it was in a big booth.
Oh, you were that asshole.
Booth, and so you can try out the games and play them and shit. So I used to hang out there, and I used to do the live tournaments that they had on the weekends as well.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't place very well, but I did it. Do you guys have any special memories of the block?
I used to hang out at Blockbuster, but for a different reason. Like I would always be that one
Trying to get
where
showgirls.
tried. No. I was successful on that. It is no problem on that one. No, I would hang out because they'd be like, "Oh yeah, this game is checked out, but it's due back today," and I'm like, "Oh well, fuck it. I'll just hang out till someone returns it." And then I would just fucking eagle eye everyone that walked up to the return slot.
Oh my God. Remember the return slot was on the outside of the building and you used to stand there. And so somebody would drop it in and you would watch it slide down the ramp and you'd go, nope, that's not it.
Yep. Well, you couldn't see into it, but yeah.
I could. Ours was because it went right behind and so you could see right into the bucket that it dropped into.
Oh no, this location was a little different. Like it was a little further away. So I would have to like ask every once in a while, like, hey, can you check the bucket, see if it fell in there? The employee who was getting paid way too little was just like, okay.
That used to be that God, that made me so angry when you walked into a Blockbuster and you saw that the movie you wanted, they only had like 5 copies of, but then the shit movie had 100 fucking copies sitting on the wall, taking up the new release section.
Yeah.
Like sitting there, no.
And then like I remember when they rented video game systems.
Oh yes.
And it was like the coolest idea, but then you were like, oh cool, it's only like $10 a night. All right, we could do this. And they're like, cool, but it'll be like a $300 deposit. Like, well, if I was putting a $300 deposit down, I wouldn't be fucking renting a system. I would buy it.
Seriously. It came in a big black plastic case.
Yeah, like you had to have the manager like uncuff his wrist from the suitcase to give it to you. Like it was like a big fucking deal.
I remember that shit.
Never did that.
Doug has no memories. He's like, just went in and got my movie.
I mean, we didn't. I mean, I rented video games from them, but I never rented a system because
you couldn't afford the $500 deposit.
No, because I had the systems, so it was never.
Oh yeah, I remember
fucking guy. Look at this guy.
Doug. He's like, yeah, I had to. I remember this dude. Like, this was just a couple months ago where Doug was like, we're showing each other our childhood homes. First of all, Kevin grew up in a very nice neighborhood.
Yeah, super posh. So when he tells you about this, like,
we've talked about this many times.
No,
it was not that nice when I fucking grew up there. I'll tell you that. It was safe. I will say this. It was safe.
It's super.
However, it wasn't nearly as posh as it is today.
Super nice. I don't believe you. All I've seen is the picture that we saw on Google Maps. That's how it's looked forever. So
I fucking wish I lived in that house in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would have been amazing. That was like a three floor monstrosity.
So I think I showed mine first, which it isn't there anymore, and you could clearly tell, like, fucking hood. And then it's like it's demolished because it was a crack house after we moved out, and then it burnt down. And then Kevin showed us his, and he's like, and we're like, okay, you fucking liar.
Yeah.
And then it came to Doug.
What I got to do to prove to you guys? Yeah, Doug, the Google car couldn't get into a gated community.
And then
it wasn't a gated community.
We look at Doug's house, and we're like, oh, cool, a mansion.
And he's like, no, that's the guest house.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't also help that my house is on a stupid tall hill.
That is not a stupid tall hill.
Oh, trust me.
That was not at all.
Jer, I would like to see you walk up that hill.
I could do it.
You would collapse halfway up, running out of breath.
Is that a fat joke?
A 5-foot hill. Doug was like, yeah, my dad made me mow it. And then we looked at the hill and we were like, are you kidding?
It is so steep. It is so ridiculous. We used to like we would sled down it. It would be like a 2-second sled ride, but it was so fucking sharp down into the road. You'd hit the road going 45 miles an hour. It was like the scene out of fucking Christmas Vacation in like 2 seconds.
I'll tell you what, I'll come over and try it, but only if the security guards let me into the community.
Well, I don't know about that.
Is my name on the list? No.
Yeah, getting in here with them shoes.
No, there's just an old neighborhood like with these old houses, but like you go like one street forward or one street back. But if you go one street forward, it looks like your neighborhood, Jer, that you showed us. I'm like not kidding. You go one street back, it looks like typical Texas suburban, boring neighborhood. You know what I mean?
And right in the center.
But then like our street was like Nice
the
house.
fucking kingdom. It's like you guys are in the middle, just running the entire fucking south of Fort Worth, and it's just like, well, this side of the city gets no rations.
Mm-hmm.
This side,
Well, and that's the thing. You go across that road. Was it Crowley Road that divides our neighborhood? Because where we lived was wasn't a part of Fort Worth for when it was founded, like 60 years ago. Like Fort Worth hadn't spread that far south, so it was its own little community. Like we have our own town hall, our own police department, our own fire department, and everything. And it's a small little community.
Just that block?
No, it's
just his road.
Just my road.
Yeah.
Now, this whole neighborhood I lived in, I'm not naming it because I don't want people to go Google it and then find out where I grew up. But
and then bother your dad. Is this Doug's old house?
Yeah, seriously. There can only be so many of my dad's. And
there
that
there's giant mansions on that street.
Yeah.
You do Google Street and you see like Doug's dad in the background, butt naked, drinking a beer or something like that.
I mean, I don't know what he does.
Please refer to Caleb's clip.
I don't live there anymore. But what was I saying?
What?
Oh, but yeah, you go across the other side of Crowley Road, with the other side of the community, and it's not good. They're right next to the railroad tracks. Like literally, it's not good. It's a weird community. It's so weird.
I should have known something was up, and I didn't put the pieces together. But when Doug and I our first trip down to Houston, he goes, I was like, man, should we get a hotel? And you're like, no, we'll just stay at my parents. And I was like, okay, cool. So we went to your parents' house. I was like, oh, this is your parents' house? And he was like, oh, it's just one of their homes, or their vacation home or something. And I was like,
no, my dad's company, they opened a branch in Houston. And so when I was out on tour and stuff, I think it was like in Phoenix, Arizona, my parents called and were like, hey, we're opening up a branch in Houston. We're selling the house and we're moving to Houston. And I was like, I'm not home. I can't come pack up any of my shit or anything that may still be in your house. And they're like, well, it'll be in a storage locker when you get home. I hang out with my parents and I call my sister and I'm like, yo, because my sister's living in like Florida at this time. I'm like, yo, mom and dad said they're selling the house. And my sister was like, what? So like her job, so her job ended in Florida and she immediately moved home. So my parents couldn't sell the house.
Nice.
Yeah, and so when I got back from tour, I moved back home also. And my sister and I lived in our house, and my parents moved to Houston, and they were down there for about 5 years. So they couldn't sell the house because my sister and I were squatting in it. And they eventually bought a house because they were tired of living in an apartment. And so they bought another house down there.
Hi, Kevin. Question. Why aren't we staying there for Comic Palooza?
Because I sold it.
They sold it.
They don't. After like 5 years working down there and stuff, like they moved back up here, so now they live.
Oh, okay. So when you guys went to Houston, it was
nice too. We sat there. There was like dual leather chairs. We watched a movie.
It was really nice.
It was really
took
nice.
a bath together.
I only went there twice. I went there one time with my sister for like a weekend. We stayed down there, and then with Jer. That's the only 2 times I've ever been in that house.
God, and then we ordered a pizza. We had some snacks, and we just chilled.
And we watched. Was it Pain and Gain
Netflix.
or Pain or Gain or whatever the fuck that movie was called?
Yeah. Oh my God, the first fucking movie was Marky. Our first movie together had Mark Wahlberg.
I don't think that was our first movie together. We had seen some movies in the theater at that point. I think we were doing our like Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So you guys were already acquainted.
Oh yeah, that was.
You know what I mean?
That may have been our second con out of town. We'd already been to I think Alamo City before that.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah. You're right. We did do Alamo City together. Oh,
dude, sweet. Coming in with a sub, 2-month sub.
Yeah, 2-month sub, dude. Sweet, dude. Sweet. Thanks for the sub.
So now my parents, they did all right eventually.
Yeah, they did all right for themselves and you, Silverspoon. So let's move on.
That's why my dad not getting me that fucking Xbox stinks so bad.
Yeah, all this fucking time. He's like bitching over the Xbox.
It's not like you didn't have the money, Dad. Actually, at that point, he probably didn't, because that was right when he quit his old job and was starting the new company, and there was no money to be had.
If you like what you're hearing so far, then we haven't even gotten into the show at this point. But you can always subscribe to us on Audio Boom. They are our sponsor. They pay for all of our bandwidth, and we love them for it. Thank you guys so much for always being there for us week in and week out. But you can also subscribe to us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, and anywhere else that you find your podcasts. You can follow us on social media at the 8-Bit Geek. And, of course, we're live every Monday night on Twitch. You can join us, join the chat, say hello, get involved. If you can't do that, you can always use Discord. I would say that we will, we usually get, God, at least 5 to 10 new people a week into Discord?
And more than that.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe more than that.
I would say an average one a day, and then there's definitely days where you get more than that.
Yeah, so I mean, you can hop on over to Discord. There's new people joining every day. It's a fun experience, especially to walk in the room. You get to meet someone called Me6, and what a lovely individual that is.
Is Me7 still around?
I think Me7 retired.
Oh man, Me7 was so funny.
Yeah, Me7 was a good one. I wonder who. I don't want to know who Me7 was, but I do.
Right?
Don't whoever it is out there, whoever is Me7, don't ever tell us.
Don't
ever tell anyone who you are.
But really, who are you?
But for real, who are you?
But don't tell us though. But who are you?
What else we got? Oh yeah, we got some other shows. So if you like this one, you can always check out some of the other shows on our network. We have 8-Bit Saga, Divas Drop Kicks and Dives, Brainberry Tarts, and Garbage Day. And if you really like us, you can always go on to support us. And how do you do that? Well, you can subscribe to us on Patreon. And for as little as $5 a month, you're going to get some extra content like extended shows, reviews, pool parties.
What?
Free content
At Ed's place.
at Ed's place.
We'll give you the address if you join our Patreon.
Join now. So all of the jokes aside, all that money goes right back into the show. We do appreciate it. We try to use that money wisely, and we haven't paid ourselves out of that money at all. It all goes to good use. So thank you guys so much for doing that for us and for always supporting the show. We always appreciate that. At some point, we will read off the Patreons.
Oh yeah, I don't know when, but we will.
We'll probably do it at the end of this month because next week I'm gone. We're going on vacation next week, but we're not going to leave you empty-handed. We actually, if you're here with Twitch, you get a little treat. You get to be involved in next week's show. So after we're done recording this one, stick around because we're actually going to record next week's show as well. And it's a special treat, and you should you'll be happy, I hope. Anyways, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the show, as I usually say. We have
potatoes, just like that. That's how you
just get into the meat and potatoes.
I've said it like that every week.
Really?
Yeah, maybe your Google Fiber is so messed up you don't hear it.
Wow. All right, I'm gonna go check on that.
Mm-hmm.
Meat and potatoes.
All right, so the meat and potatoes. Misconnections. Every week we take real ads from the misconnection section of Craigslist. We read them in funny voices. They're completely real. We don't edit them in any way, but we do ad lib just a little bit. But we definitely can't make this stuff up.
Boy sees girl. Boy is interested in girl. Boy awkwardly stares at. Boy never approaches girl. Girl leaves. Boy swears they are meant for one another. Boy turns to Craigslist. 8-Bit Geek steps in. Welcome to Misconnection.
Where's that Sean Penis at?
Oh, what?
I'm sorry, what?
That's not. That is, sir. That is offensive.
What did I say?
You said penis.
Oh, I meant penis.
It's Sean Penis, not penis. I got enough of that in elementary school, middle school, high school, my 2 years at community college, and my quarter semester at real college.
Wait, you got enough penis or enough talk about the penis?
People mispronouncing my last name.
Oh, okay.
And making fun of it. Also, thank you, Side Joker, for the, I think, $15 donation. Kev?
Yeah, Side Joker donated $15. Also, we got a follow from Keen Project. Thank you.
Nice.
What's up, Keen? Nice.
Any hoozles. What's up, fellas?
Hoozles.
Well, how was your week?
It was good. I had to stay in town because we had to do another Saga recording session. And,
Had to, or you were happy to? I think you were involved for maybe
this
2 minutes in the episode this time.
if we're lucky.
Yeah.
It's not much. I feel like I'm wasting a lot of money when I could just be phoning this in. A lot of money just traveling back and forth to be here.
I agree.
And
Well, you got things going on while you're out here.
And then when the episode comes around, it'll be like, hey, someone called Ping 15. And I go, hey, what's up, fellas? And then like, hey, can you look this up? Sure, 1 second. Okay, here's the information you needed. Bye. And that's it. You guys, they don't use me anymore.
I would use you if I could, but nobody lets me.
What?
Go on.
What?
They barely let my character out of the ship. So
That's true.
PN went back to Doug real quick.
Well, that's me just interjecting.
Oh, he's my bad. So PN, what do you got?
This one comes from my time in Las Vegas.
I'd like to say that I called you PN instead of Sean.
And the best part is Sean
didn't even notice.
Didn't even phase.
You know what? I'm as much PN is a part of me. We are almost one and the same, except one of us is a robot.
Droid.
Oh, sorry, a droid. Oh, heaven forbid I used the wrong vernacular.
It's 2018, Doug.
By
Sean.
the way, Luke Skywalker himself at the Oscars called BB-8 a robot.
Yeah, no. Yeah, yep. And in the movie, he called a lightsaber a laser sword, so someone can S a D. Just kidding.
Wow.
An S a D.
Assassinate a D.
Yes. Assassinate this D.
Oh no! Wait, are you trying to come on to Mark Hamill?
What? No. What? No.
I think he's
Keep up.
Anyone.
Anyways, this misconnection comes from my time in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Do friends who spoil each other with benefits really exist? This week, my age is 39. Of course, I would like a smart and sexy friend with benefits, but don't expect health insurance or a 401k plan.
Wow.
Yeah, I ain't no sugar daddy. In today's fast-paced world, sometimes a real relationship is hard to come by. So maybe an alternative type of relationship is what you are seeking. If so, please get back to me, since there are always other types of benefits such as traveling and fine dining and doing things together as a couple that are better than doing them by yourself.
That's true.
Now, when you answer, please tell me about yourself and be sure to include your recent photo, and so I can see what type of friends. So I can see what type of friends you look like.
Huh?
Please include. Tell me about yourself and include your recent photo, so I can see what type of friends you look like. That doesn't make any sense. Also, type the word "friend" in all caps in your response, so I know you are not a bot.
Robot.
A robot.
Robot.
Hey, Quesh.
Yeah.
Quesh. Are you looking for her, or are you looking for her friends?
Little column A, little column B.
Okay. All right, I've got one here. Well, I don't have one.
Yeah, when did you ever have one?
Oh.
You don't do misconnections, Jer.
Yeah, that's why I said that Olga has one.
Olga.
Hello, comrades.
Hey, welcome back, Olga. Long time no wait. We've seen you on Brawl a bunch.
Yeah, she's been on Brawl.
Yes, I've been brawling with the boys.
Nope. You've been
What they call ladies.
Oh.
You've been losing matches to Ants, your women's champion.
Fucking ants coming in all the time on that fucking
Like
motorcycle.
a badass, dude.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's like baby rhino running me over.
What?
Go ahead.
And I'm spending time in US of A, because problems with Russia right now. So this comes from the Redlands of California. So, I seen you at gym at 12/28/17. This is code for date. I constantly catch you looking at me. I play it off as, we've just made eye contact that very moment. You're so sexy with your big muscles and sexy stature. I've never been into guys in the same range of height as me, but I can only imagine you holding my body tight against yours. Tossing me around with your big muscles. I do love to post gym cardio with you, winky face. If you're here and you're him, tell me something about myself. That is it, boys.
I can tell you wrestle in high heels.
I am 6'7".
Oh God.
I am tall, sexy, and horny. Would you boys like to play on this jungle gym?
Nope.
No.
Solid pass.
I'm good.
Would you like a chance to slide down my slide?
No, I'm washing my hair that night.
I have very big pool at the end of slide.
No.
Jump in, get wet.
No.
Okay, I go then.
Bye. I'll hit you up later. See ya.
Somebody mentioned a pool. I just came from Ed's house, so the pool is a little empty right now. But I heard there's gonna be a little Olga pool party later on. So I'll let your boy
jump in.
Yeah, I want to jump in and then go in the pool.
As you come into my pool, you'll never leave. You'll be swimming for life.
Maybe I'll take that Pepsi challenge.
I will squeeze you with my giant legs wrapped around your neck like a snake.
I got nothing on that. Well, let me give a little misconnection of my own. This week, I just want to give a relaxing breast massage. **. Male for women. This is good old Las Vegas. As I like to call it, lost wages. My body this week is average. I'll be humble about it. I'm average.
As it always is.
I'm your average ginger. My height this week is 6 foot, 182 centimeters for you Canadian ladies out there. My status this week is single. I'm kind of dipping a little old this week. I'm 60 this week. Guys, wish me happy birthday. I'm 60.
Happy birthday.
I mean, I don't feel 60. I definitely don't look 60. But this week I'm 60. Now, how does a nice, relaxing breast massage sound? Now, if you love your breasts and nipples softly massaged and played with, send me a message. Just lay back and relax and enjoy. It'll feel real good. Mature swimmer.
It's about time that you
Excuse me,
follow,
mature,
because if not, brother, you
single
would have been
white
dead.
male, I'm assuming. S/W/M.
Probably.
I like swimmers though too, because that means they're in good shape. If they're swimming.
I think you're describing yourself. But
And even though what I'm saying is like I'm 60 years old and I still got some swimmers down there, if you know what I mean. So if you're into having children late in life, let me know. Like we could be very discreet, safe, and down to earth. Safe, we'll definitely wear like parachutes or whatever you need to do just to feel safe. If you want, I'll hire an armed guard to guard the door while we get it home.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're safe and down to earth. We'll give you a very gentle, relaxing breast and nipple massage.
Ooh.
See, I'm throwing in the nipple massage on me. That's on me.
So that's free.
Yeah. You buy the breast, you get the nipple with it.
Sounds like a top. Okay, continue.
It's like that, pay less where it's BOGO. But
No, we
it's
get it.
like buy one titty, get one nip free. So that's Nip, Bogoten, like a Bogoten. So don't be shy. Prefer sincere, mature women like myself, except not a woman. Have a glass of wine, and relax for a bit and enjoy. Please, no pros. I want purely amateur. It's just like my Pornhub lookups, all amateur, baby.
Oh my goodness! Somehow you turned a 5-sentence misconnection into a half an hour sentence.
You see, you got to ease it in, just like everything else in life. You just can't go diving right in. You just can't make it quick. The pros make it quick. The amateurs really slow it down. I love you very much.
I don't think that's true. Based on my recent searches. Just kidding.
Velvet Jones, everybody. Conversations.
We had a really nice comment from Superior Snake, and
thanks.
He says, "Hey, dude, I've been lurking for a while," and hey, nice compliment. Now, I would like to. My competitive side wants to know who he's talking about, but I'm going to take the high road here and just be like, I think he's talking about all of us.
He's probably talking about Doug.
It's probably true.
It's because of the burrito cam.
It's seriously because of the burrito cam. Always. When you see those puffy lips come out of that hair.
Did you? Yeah, dude.
Anschik
said hashtag #BogoToNip.
There's a part of me that thinks that maybe that it's a bot because it is like so singular, whereas like talking about one person, but they did follow also, so I don't fucking know.
Thanks, Superior.
My natural assumption is that it's a bot. We'll see if they say anymore, and if so, please tell us who you're talking about. That way we can be competitive.
Or just into a real life misconnection here.
Yeah.
If you're describing me, tell me what I look like.
Please send a pic.
Yeah. Tell me what I like.
Make sure you use the word friend in all caps.
Oh, hey, Kev.
Hi.
I didn't know your boy was a swimmer.
My boy? Like David Schwimmer?
Olga is looking for somebody to swim in her pool.
Oh yeah. No, I'm still here. Yeah, I'm gonna hit her up.
Would you like to come over?
Oh baby, I'm already there. You guys got a CTA or a bus route that leaves anywhere near there? My car's in the shop this week.
You just said you were here. I don't.
Proverbially, metaphysically, I'm here.
Yeah, she hung up.
Where you going, baby?
All right, let's get into the top box office.
I need a ride home.
Nope. We're done with that segment.
Yeah, he left. He called an Uber.
Black Panther, once again, has taken the number 1 spot in week number 3.
Good.
And numbers are just fucking awesomely ridiculous.
In 3 weeks.
It made another 65.7 million.
Good.
It passed 500 million here domestically. It had to pass $1 billion by now, right?
I'm looking to see if I can find out.
It had to.
I don't see anything on the IMDb page, but
meanwhile, Red Sparrow came out making 17 million. Death Wish came out making 13 million, and just nothing comparing to Black Panther. Step into the spotlight.
Oh man. 10 hours ago, Forbes posted that it was nearing 900 million globally.
That's awesome. It's going to hit $1 billion. That's awesome.
So we were talking in the pre-show about Steven Spielberg saying that TV is the future and that a lot of people are going to be pushed towards the TV. And boy, has that become a reality this year. Netflix has announced that it's set to release a total of 700 original movies and TV shows this year alone.
Wow.
That's insane.
That's ballsy.
This year.
But my question is is any of it like country specific? You know what I mean? Because they make original content for their audience in like Mexico and Germany and other places. Now we do get a lot of it here in America since it is an American-based company. We'll get some of that stuff. Like you can go and you'll see a bunch of like Spanish Netflix original series. Dark, for example, was a German show that was made by Netflix, and we got that as well. But I wonder if it's like 700.
I have an answer for that.
Okay.
So there's more than 80 original new shows coming this year. And like you said, there's things being produced in non-English markets. So the total number is 700.
Yeah.
In the 700 range. But here, I'm guessing it's just a total of 80, but still 80?
80 new shows. 80 new shows, or like 80, because think of all the concurrent stuff where it's like Orange is the New Black is coming back. And
Yeah, Love Season 3 is starting this week.
Yeah, Love Season 3.
It
exactly.
says 80 original productions. There are such as Dark and from Germany and End of the Fucking World in the UK.
Oh my god, that show is so good.
I gotta finish that. I'm like 3 episodes in.
Even so, to have 80, like that's an insane number for one network to put out in a year.
Yeah, they hit every market. And that's what's so good about it, is that like, because even you got like their kids shows too. Like I was looking the other day with Ollie, just like looking for something to watch because he wanted to watch something, or like he was watching like fucking, I don't know, what is that, PJ Masks or whatever the fuck that show is called, and they only have like one season, which is only like 9 episodes of a kids show, so that's barely 2 hours worth of TV. And so like he'd watched all of it, he wouldn't watch anymore, and I'm scrolling through and I'm just like, holy fuck, every DreamWorks show right now is a Netflix original. Like all of their Trolls TV show, the Turbo, like, you know, all this shit, and it was just like, holy fuck, like they have a huge foot in the like kids market.
Those are really good shows too.
Yeah, that's insane.
I think you look at places like HBO and even all these network TV shows, and I think they're in a fucking mad rush to launch their streaming services and to get their own stuff out. Like HBO, I've seen is like hiring left and right. They're trying to put out new shows because I think Netflix is like, well, we're going to get these subscriptions, and people, like, we're going to be the first because this is what people want. And they're just doing it. And they've defied all the status quo as well, like bringing back stuff like Full House.
Yeah.
And like people were like, it's terrible. Like even the stuff with Adam Sandler, it's what the general public wants.
Yeah.
And I know that they're so bad, but they're getting record number watches.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, it's funny. There was a South Park episode. I think the game was based on it, where they're like, "Thank you for calling Netflix. You're greenlit."
Yeah,
like that's all it took. Like basically, and that's what they were trying to do. Their superhero movies, because like Netflix was greenlighting so many things.
Yeah,
and that was like a whole thing.
And obviously making fun of like the whole Marvel's thing with them also, where it was like every Marvel anything seemed to be getting a movie or a TV show through Netflix somehow. If it wasn't a movie, you know. So that's, you know, they broke down their plan. It was like, okay, so we start with, you know, this
the Coon movie.
Yeah, the Coon movie, and then he gets his own series, and then we get this character like sequel to the Coon or whatever, because they make an appearance, and then they get their own series, and then that person appears in their series, gets their own series, and it was just like, so how it is, or how it seems, or whatever. But at the same time, like, man, they've got some fucking amazing TV shows. You know, we've been talking about them. Well, David Letterman's new show is amazing. He only has 2 episodes out. The first one with his first interviews with Barack Obama. The second one was with George Clooney, and they're both really good episodes. The End of the Fucking World is a great show. It's dark, it's funny, it's awkward, it's great. And then
also Black Mirror.
Yeah, Black Mirror just got renewed for season 5. Like today, they just announced that. What's that other one? Everything Sucks. Like I finished that one in a day.
Still, you know what? I didn't get past the first episode. I got to watch more of that. It was really heavy-handed with the 90s stuff. Which it was.
You don't like that, Kev?
It was cool, but it was way too heavy-handed with it. It was like there's a difference between making something seem like it's from the 90s and then like pushing every single. It felt like not another teen movie minus the parody part.
Or do you think that that's pretty true to the 90s? Like they did everything that a kid would fucking do from the 90s, and maybe you're just like, I don't fucking remember all of that.
No, I remember all of it, but it was one of those things where it was more like they were kind of shoving it down your throat.
You want it sprinkled in, or you don't want the full 90s, you just want the frontal 90s?
I want it to where it's not so like jumping in front of the camera. I like it more background stuff, like maybe posters, like have a No Effects poster in the back or something like that. Not someone going, "Hey, Ani DeFranco, she's a great artist, right? Remember that? You know, just shit like that. It
That
just seems like
was
it's,
the 90s, Kev.
For real.
I don't remember anyone in the 90s ever like shoving that shit in my face.
Are you
So
saying
you fucking lived in the 90s, Kev. That was your fucking life.
like you don't remember taking a CD, shoving it in your friend's face, and going, "You need to fucking listen to this."
you need to listen to this. You need to watch this movie. You need to get the fuck out of here, Kev. God,
You didn't
No.
trade
God.
Garbage Pail Kids and sit there and like
That
play
was
with
the
the little take the 90s for me, and then you take your two fingers and you put it in the little putty and make it fart.
Oh, goddamn! Thank you, said Putty.
Like I had all that shit, and it was like you didn't have the like. They even did the one part where they had the it was the same putty kind of situation where they made copies. They pressed down and you make copies of
Silly
the
Putty.
the silly putty.
Yeah,
Like, come on, man! Like all that shit wrapped up. That was the 90s.
yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I just feel like it's very heavy-handed. I don't. That's my thing on it.
All right, that's fair. Okay, you're allowed to have your opinion, even
If it's
if
wrong.
Doug. I was waiting for it. That's why I said your name.
Fucking assholes.
Yeah. Like, are you kidding me? Like, the 90s is what, like, set that standard for shoving shit down your face and down your throat, like, constantly. Well, I mean, somebody in the chat mentions, like, oh, they mentioned Surge and was it Jolt or whatever, Cola all the way. That's the fucking 90s. Are you kidding me? Everyone in their goddamn, like, in the United States knew what Jolt and Surge was. That's why there was a resurgence of Surge not too long ago, because people went, you remember that fucking caffeinated drink we got really fucked up on in the 90s? Remember? I'm pretty sure it was toxic. Oh, yeah, Surge? Yes, let's market that and sell it again. Like,
And you're forgetting that the 90s was we had a few channels that we went to all the time, and we had Saturday morning cartoons, and all they did was shove all this shit down our throats
yes.
because that's all it was a whole bunch of advertisements for just targeted right at us.
Well, and that's what this show is. It was the 90s, man. Like, in every sense. And, like, I don't know. I wonder if people back in 2000 watching Freaks and Geeks are going like, man, this is too 80s for me.
They're just shoving it in my
Yeah,
face.
they're just shoving it in my face. This is too 80s
I
for
think
me.
no. I think Freaks and Geeks was way more subtle about their shit.
I will say that a lot of people
They definitely reference a lot less pop culture, I think, in Freaks and Geeks than.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's just more pop culture references in Everything Sucks.
Yeah, and I will give it that Everything Sucks has that they're very dramatic, like they do overact a little bit in it, but I will say the references I dig. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, and the soundtrack's phenomenal. The soundtrack
Yeah, I think I've only watched the first episode, so I gotta watch more. But
at the end of the first episode, the first episode starts with the boss towns. Yes, please. You start off the show with what the fuck is that song? The intentions that I get, or whatever. Was it? No, what is it? The impression that I get.
that's the impression that I get.
Yeah, you start with that. Okay, I'm hooked, and then you end up with Rancid. Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm surprised you weren't a fan just based on the music, Kev.
Yeah, the music is
I
so
didn't
good.
say anything about the music. I like the music. I was fine
I know.
with
I was
that.
just saying that I'm surprised that you weren't just a fan of the show. You're like, oh, I'm going to give this another chance. The first
Oh,
episode.
I'm still gonna give it. I didn't write it completely off. I'm gonna watch more of it.
There's a
I'm
whole
just
scene in a Blockbuster.
True. They recreated. No, they just probably went to the only one that's open.
saying, in Alaska.
Yeah, they have one in Alaska, and then in Mexico, Blockbuster is still a big deal. So, still going down there. I think they have one in Texas as well that's still open.
It's a very sweet show. I think there's parts. What's really crazy is, like, I don't know if it's now that I'm an adult sort of thing. I don't know what it is, but like I cared a little bit more about the dad, like the principal, and the kid's mom than I did about some of the kids' storylines. Like I was I would watch a whole show about them.
Well, after the first episode, I feel the same. Like I felt more about the principal. Like I felt really bad for that. You know, he was trying hard, and
you keep going, and you're gonna have a fucking ball with him. He's
He's my
great.
favorite. He's like one of my favorite characters of the show. He was so great.
yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Man. That was good.
Let's get into the Ghostbusters are getting a reboot of some sort.
Again.
There's going to be a live concert tour.
This reminds me of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles '90s thing, where it was like Pizza Hut presents Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live in concert.
I hope they do that Bustin' remix.
Bustin'.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
You see a ghost sleeping in your bed. Bustin'.
Are we skipping this movie pass story?
Oh shit! Yeah, fuck that.
We
We gotta get that Netflix thing out of here. Okay. Okay, we'll just finish up the Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters live concert isn't what you think. It's just orchestra. It's not going to be like a musical or anything like that. So.
Oh, well, that's not bad.
Yeah. But I don't think that music is all that iconic, is it?
Except for the theme, right? The theme is the
Right.
most iconic part of it. And
Yeah.
The theme, and then like there's like little things like when you play. Did you guys play the video game, the one with the actual Ghostbusters in it?
Oh my gosh, I played that game. So there was no co-op. That was the first mistake from that game.
Yes, I
There
agree.
wasn't any co-op. So me and my buddy, when it came out, we both had a copy. I brought over my TV and I brought over my Xbox 360. I put it next to his, and then we played through each level together. So,
Nice. It's such a great game. I'm glad I still have that on PC, and it's hard to find now because they lost the license to it. So if you have it, keep it.
it's a really good game.
Yeah, it is. But they brought back a lot of the old songs from that, like just the little background songs, like the score.
Don't notice it, right? Like it's not. They're not like something I would.
I don't know if I'd recognize if I just heard it out in the wild.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it's just that they threw it into my face too much, and I'm not a big fan of it. But just kidding, Kev.
Kev didn't even hear it. He missed it completely.
Yeah, he did. He's reading the chat.
Hey, you guys.
All right, movie pass.
No, actually, I was re-downloading Ghostbusters on Steam. I was like, I gotta play this.
No wonder your connection just went to shit.
Your connection.
Movie Pass is hitting its first hurdle of having a fan base. So some people, Movie Pass is, excuse my language here, they're showing their big old dicks and they're fucking flopping it around. They now have over 1.5 million users, and they're saying that they're going to have 5 to 10 million users within 5 years.
Oof. All right.
And so they've doubled their subscription, the how many people they have within 6 months. So they're really growing really fast. So what does that get you? Well, that gets you 10% market share of tickets sold to the theaters. And what they're doing with that 10% is they're trying to get higher concession prices. So they want a cut of the concessions from the theaters, because they're driving 10% of people into the theater. So they're using their power for bad, and it's not a good thing. So they have cut some AMCs out of their app, and they're not allowing it unless AMC signs on to have a bigger contract and to give MoviePass more money for concessions. Isn't that fucked up? Like, you paid for a service, you have it, and you're like, oh no. But here's the fun part. The response. So Slash Film reached out to MoviePass, and MoviePass said, yeah, so we're testing the service and we're optimizing the experience for the theaters, the distributors, and the members. And we occasionally remove some films from our ticketing inventory in some markets for a limited time, similar to how we organically promote films in certain markets to better understand member behavior.
That doesn't sound like you're trying to... That doesn't make sense. Hey, so we're going to promote a movie in a certain region to see... To watch how they respond in that region. No, that's not like organic at all. You fucking force that. Like, oh, well, they can't go see Red Sparrow here. Let's watch how more people don't go see Red Sparrow than in another market where they can. What does that tell you? Exactly what you fucking knew would happen.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess Red Sparrow has been, and then also Black Panther has been an issue for that. Now, I don't have this problem because I usually don't go to AMC. So nothing has been an issue for me yet. But here's another fun part, which I didn't know, which I will immediately exit the app as soon as I'm done using it. MoviePass is tracking every single one of its members to see how far away they drive from their house to the theater.
Oh no.
And where they go after the theater and they're selling all of this data to make money off of it.
I would, just for shits and giggles, I would not drive home. I would drive to a strip joint.
After every
movie. And just to make it weird, make sure you throw in some kid movies too. Like, yep.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You'll end up on the wrong website there, Doug.
I'm not going to a website, Kev. They're tracking my information.
I'm saying they're gonna put you on it.
No, I'm just saying, no, not a website, a watch list. But
yeah.
Just to throw off their data, where it's like, man, it seems like most people, they go to the movie, and then, you know, if it's a later movie, they tend to go home. If it's a little bit earlier, sometimes they go out to eat afterwards. But this one person, no matter what they see, every time, straight to the strip club, and then they're there longer than they're at the movie.
They just processing the movie.
Strangely, they go to the video market and are straight to the XXX section. Don't get it.
God damn it.
So yeah, that's gonna be something. So now I'm gonna actively shut that app off whenever I'm done with the movie, because I don't like shit.
Because I have so much to learn from you, Jer. Like, let's see what Jer's doing. You were exactly one of the two like that I just described. Where do you go after the movie? Either home or you go get food.
Damn. Doug hitting you with some fucking reality tonight.
There's no reality in that. It's true.
Yeah.
Well, that's the reality.
Cool. At that point, you're just a 1 and a 0 somewhere in there, like data about everyone else.
And that's the attitude that that's creating all these millennials saying, I don't care what I put on the internet. It's all there.
You know you're a millennial, right?
Yeah, you by definition of when you were born as a millennial.
I was told I'm not a millennial anymore. They changed it. And I got into an argument with somebody who was a millennial who got very defensive at the fact that a 37-year-old was considering himself a millennial. So QE, thank you for all the bits.
QE just donated 1,500 bits and said kappa 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 kappa.
Yeah, I was it's some fucking thing. It's like a zillennial or some shit that they're calling us now. So if you're born,
we're not good enough to be Generation X yet. We're not millennials.
It's so stupid. Like I was like,
Doug's an actual millennial though.
No, I'm Gen Y or whatever, or Gen X. What am I? I'm not that.
You're definitely not Gen X.
No, because millennials ends in like 1984 or some shit.
Oh yeah, and you were born in what, 92?
Yeah, 1997.
Nice.
Oh yeah, Mike is coming in and says we're Xennials.
Xennials.
Oh yeah. Zennials.
Early use. Hold on. Let me see what the Wikipedia says.
Sounds a lot like xenomorphs, Mike.
Where'd that voice come from?
I don't know.
And can I have some more?
Shit, that's a huge fucking range.
Yeah.
77 to 94. Get out of here. That's like 3 fucking generations. People born in 77 were having kids in 94.
If you were born in 77, wouldn't that what?
That's Gen X.
Okay. 1980 to 94 as Generation Y.
Well, I'm fucked up then because I'm in between both. Because this is anybody between 77 and 85.
95 was what that one thing said. And Nielsen uses that for 77 to 95, and MetLife uses 77 to 94. But then they're like, they break it down inside of that or whatever. And
I love all these little.
It doesn't, man. It depends on what company they're using to describe you, because it's like Australia's McGrindle Research regards 80 to 94 as Generation Y. PricewaterhouseCoopers reported that 80 to 95 is 80 to 95.
This is all over the place.
80 to 96, 81 to 96.
Essentially, this is saying, okay, so the big.
Well, that's the problem, because you watch these like shows, or you hear these like adults like, oh, these fucking millennials, and it's like, who the fuck are you talking about? Are you talking about like, the 13-year-olds that are in high school right now, in middle school?
I think that's what they're talking
because
about.
like that's not me. Like or you know, like, oh, these millennials that are graduating college right now. Those kids are fucking 10 years younger than me. Like, we're not the same. Like, I work at a college. I deal with like these age kids all the time. like we may have similar interests in like movies and shit, but that's about where it fucking ends.
It's like when you're like trying to like when you're asking like a hipster what kind of metal they're into, and they're like, I don't know, like Dio, he's like good cave metal, like epic metal, but I'm really into like medieval metal. And then there's like that slash metal, it's pretty cool, like cut your wrist metal. I've been into that lately. It's like just fucking pick something.
Yeah.
So they said
we're all millennials.
The Xennials are supposed to be if you had an.
Why do you keep saying it's Zennials? You're like X. You're trying to make it sound like X-Men.
Yeah, well, I want to be one. So Xennials are the if you had an analog childhood and a digital adulthood.
That's relatively fair. Okay, I can see that.
And it says, here's another one. If you played outdoors but couldn't text your friends.
Yeah, I did that.
Or your parents, let them know where you were.
Yeah. Just be home when the light turns on. So, yeah.
And I'm kind of right in the middle of that because I definitely, grew up on a tape player, VHS and all that fun stuff. But then I, about 5th grade or so is when I got like my first personal computer, and then, CD player and all that stuff. So like, I'm like, I guess the perfect millennial. I'm like right in the fucking middle.
Mm-hmm.
I had like
here we go. Doug saying is perfect again.
Well, everyone already knew that, but like, or like right, I guess on the tail end of that, because it was like while I was still a kid that the switch really happened. Or some, I guess that said
the
as
Switch
adulthoods
last year.
What's that?
So the Switch didn't come out till last year. So
Well,
every time you say it, you gotta
the Switch.
Yeah, the Switch.
Whoa! What the fuck that do to your camera?
I don't know.
Your camera went
Why
out.
would it do that?
I don't know. It was like, no, it did it again.
Uh-oh. I was watching Ash versus the Evil Dead, and shit started happening like that too.
Can I say real quick, this is for people on Twitch and stuff that are watching us. I love that your skeleton Willie back there is kind of like holding Mark.
He's like
Marky,
cradling
like
Mark.
kind of cradling Marky in his lap.
Yeah, and its mouth is open like he's struck.
He's like, I bury me bone in Marky.
He is in his crotch region.
Yeah.
I'm in the search for Marky's booty. Plunder the butthole.
Okay, Kev.
Yeah,
You could have left
seriously.
it at the other one.
Seriously.
This show is rated PG-13, not R.
I can't
okay?
say this without an adult.
Youth restricted viewing.
Marvel has moved up its release date for Infinity War. It is now on April 27th, ladies and gentlemen. People kept asking the dumbest question of why this was moved up, and it's obvious. It's the most obvious answer. Like, people kept on having like all these theories and shit, and I was like, it's because they didn't want to release 2 movies in the same month.
Yeah. And if they've purchased Fox, which I don't know if they have, 3.
Yeah.
It's like you're gonna cannibalize all your movies. Like, that's why. And so people were like, oh yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah.
It's like, not everything has to have like a conspiracy.
Is that Batman answer? Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Let's jump into. Okay, I'll just mention this real quick because there's a lot of news. We haven't even gotten into gaming. This one real quick. Men in Black reboot wants Chris Hemsworth to play one of the leads. I support it. All that support it say yay.
Yay.
Yeah.
That's not yay.
That's not yay.
I don't give a shit.
Okay. And then also, here's some big news. Time Warner says that they may sell off Warner Brothers and DC Comics if AT&T merger fails.
Damn.
Can you imagine if the mouse comes calling?
I think that would be
happen.
a monopoly at that point.
That wouldn't happen.
I think that would get shot down.
You think it would be a monopoly on comic book characters?
Comics and publishing, because at that point you're taking two different like publishing houses for Marvel and DC, because at that point, if you merge them, you could still say, oh, they're still separate, they're not the same, but and they're still owned by the same company, because then you'd have Marvel, DC, and then who's left? Dark Horse, if they're still around.
Yeah,
Image.
You have all these little
Image. Yeah, you have all these small ones, so there's no competition anymore between.
I think DC owns Image or something like that too. So,
do they? I don't know if it's Image.
Don't they own Dark Horse?
No.
no,
I don't think anybody owns Dark Horse. No, what is Variant? Variant? Is it Variant? No, what is it? Oh, they own something. It's not Variant.
I don't know. I guess not.
It's whoever. What is
It was people who left DC formed Image. So never
I'm
mind.
trying to look at my Vertigo.
Vertigo is owned by DC.
DC owns Vertigo.
Yeah, because Vertigo is like DC's like mature comics.
Yeah.
Which is funny because DC is like considered the mature comics already.
Well, back in the 90s, it was more like Vertigo was like the adult comics. Like that was like all of the Sandman and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, it still is like Fable and stuff as well.
Yeah. So, and DC didn't go that bad in the 90s. DC was like Death of Superman was like the most real DC that, like, as far as like dramatic, I guess.
I went to a little swap meet not too long ago, and they had racks and racks and racks full of the Death of Superman comic.
Yeah.
That
was what got me into comics. Actually, my dad bought me the trade, the whole graphic novel, like, you know, all of the comics in one. And that's after that, I collected all the Death of Superman, like all the ones that happened afterwards, like where they split it off into 4 different comics, where it was like, who's the real Superman?
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
Let's get into some gaming news. So it looks like, oh boy, and I know that we don't try to fuck it. No, let's just own it. Fuck it. We're getting political here for a second. The White House has announced that Trump will meet with the game industry, and I guess the ESA has finally gotten a invite, and I guess it's happening on the 8th.
By the way, the ESA is the Entertainment Software Association, basically made up of all the majors: Nintendo, EA, Take-Two.
Well, they rep all those. They rep all the publishers, so that way, they're pretty much the PR of the publishers, essentially.
But that's the funny part about this whole thing is like they didn't know about this meeting, so it's like, who actually did the White House even like announce?
Nobody said that they got invites, and so like all these industry leaders were like, yeah, we haven't heard shit. Like, what? So why is this meeting happening? Well, our wonderful president thinks that somehow video games are connected to violence and real world violence, even though every fucking scientific data research points to that as being a no.
Yeah.
See, you guys wanted the 90s to come back. Here is a fucking prime example of the 90s.
I know. For a second, I was like, is this Tippy Gorge speaking? Like, what the fuck is happening right
Tipper
now?
Gore, Joseph Lieberman.
Yeah.
Like, all of this,
shit.
like, and the funny thing is, like, both this and going back to movies, like, Trump was unaware that there was a rating process. He didn't know about the ESRB for video games, and he didn't know about like was it MPAA for movies?
Yeah, because he was talking about like, well, yeah, someone out there should make sure that like our kids don't see this violent stuff. Like there should be stuff out there that keeps them
like a rating system.
Yeah, like a rating system, so parents will know not to buy stuff. You know, let their kids do this stuff. And they're like, that's existed for a long ass time, dude.
Yeah. So it's once again, and this is not even a jab at the president. This is in general. This is another out of touch person in power thinking they know they have their finger on the pulse of America. It's like, I mean, you say what you will. You can bash Trump. You can defend him, whatever. This is an old person thinking they know everything about what the youth culture or even people like subculture of video games. They think they know all about it because of what they've heard. It's like that one time the woman was that one writer, she was on like Fox News and she was talking shit about Mass Effect for being too sexy.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jeff Keighley was the counterpoint and he's like, have you even played this game? She's like, no, but somebody showed me a video of it. And it's like that. It's like people trying to act like they fucking know it all and then they're experts in their field when there's actual experts in their field proving them wrong. And this is one of those situations where it's like, this is a fucking you want to look into why bad shit's happening in the world. Fucking listen to the experts and then like fucking open your eyes.
I love celebrity ghosts.
Nothing that'll ever stop him from doing anything. Sorry. Go ahead.
Celebrity Ghost goes and he says, yeah, violence didn't exist before Pong. This is known.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. Like, you could have all these experts tell Trump exactly the truth about anything, and it won't fucking matter. It won't matter if it doesn't line up with whatever he set his mind into. It doesn't. It's bull. It doesn't. It's fake news. It's bullshit. So, you know, like after this shooting in Florida, which is kind of what started this whole thing, even though there's been absolutely no correlation between violent video games and the shooter's actions, nothing, no proof whatsoever that would even point to that being why he did what he did. You know, but Trump first was like, man, you shouldn't be able to buy an AR-15. You shouldn't be able to buy an AR-15 over the age of 21. The government should come and take everyone's guns. As video games.
Well, that was after he had the meeting with the NRA.
Like, that's what I'm saying, is that like he said this and people went like, whoa, no, you can't say that. Okay, 21. People, okay, yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, you should be able to buy like an AR-15 under the age of, you know, you can't buy beer. You shouldn't be able to buy a fucking gun.
Yeah.
And then someone went, no, you can't, you shouldn't say that. And he was like, oh, no one should have guns. Well, I'll come take them away. The thing that the GOP has been preaching about Obama for the last 8 fucking years, you know,
and Hillary.
Yeah. Oh, they're gonna come take your guns away. And then here's your boy saying, we'll come take your guns away.
I'm gonna take your guns away. It's gonna be huge.
He meets with the NRA, and then he comes out going, video games.
Yeah,
those damn video games.
Oh, we should talk to the video game makers because clearly it's their fault. It's just a bunch of bullshit, and it's just you know, this one fucking organization that represents 5 million people, less than 5% of the United States, like, and they're making these sort of fucking calls for everyone else, and then on top of that, they're like, they're fucking with my goddamn video games.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about your Second Amendment right. You can own a gun all you fucking want, but you come after my goddamn video games. Swear to fucking Christ.
NRA for video games.
Yeah.
Preach it.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, you know what? Like, I mean, once again, I mean, we're very opinionated. You can take whatever you want as you want with us. I'm for the Second Amendment. Hey, keep all the guns you want. It doesn't affect me. Just be smart. Don't give guns to stupid people. The unfortunate part is there's a lot of stupid people and a lot of mentally ill people with that gun. Just make it.
The problem with that, though, Kev, is that these guns don't affect you yet. And that's the problem that we live in right now, is that they don't affect you yet because they're doing nothing to stop these crazy people from getting guns. But the fact that one of Trump's very first things he did when he stepped into office was to sign a bill that got rid of...
he got rid of the Obama era.
Yeah, which stopped people with like mental issues, which, okay, you know, that's very broad. And I'm sure there was things that like toned it down exactly what that meant because, you know, like, oh, man, I have severe anxiety. Oh, now I can't get a gun. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. But, you know, there's been stuff to stop people who are like known wife beaters, like people with domestic violence assaults on them.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be able to buy weapons. There should be something like if you are severely depressed to the point where your doctor has prescribed you to be on something because you might be a harm to yourself, you shouldn't be able to buy a gun. It doesn't matter what it is. But like, I agree. We need to treat guns like we treat cars. You need to have insurance for it. You need to have a license for it. You need to have a test for it. There needs to be more than just, you can't just walk into a place and buy these weapons. We need to have all the things in check to make sure that the people who are buying the guns are responsible gun owners. If they want it bad enough, they'll get it. Okay, but that stops this kid from going and buying an AR-15.
Also,
it falls in 5 minutes. You know.
I mean, once again, we're kind of going way off subject, but one more thing. I say it's more in the hands of the government actually enforcing this shit, because there are laws in place and there's regulations in place, but the government doesn't do shit about it.
Well, there's
like
loopholes.
They put it there. Yeah, but I'm saying
the gun show loophole, and it's a thing where you can just walk into these gun shows and just buy a gun.
That's it kind of.
No, it is. I mean, it can vary from state to state, but like,
yeah, it varies from state to state.
Literally, after this happened, the dude with a expired ID walked into a store and walked out with an AR-15 with a license an ID that shouldn't have been taken because it was expired, and no sort of background check. I mean, there's just stuff like that. I'm sorry, like as someone who has experienced and lived through a mass shooting. And this guy, thankfully for us, had a fucking handgun and not an AR-15. Because if he had an AR-15 or any sort of automatic or a semi-automatic like rifle or whatever, we would be dead. But those were outlawed in that time period that he did this shooting. So he had a handgun, 2 pipe bombs, and he fucking sucked at what he was trying to do.
I mean, yeah, I think we should definitely say that. Like, I don't bring it up a lot because Doug, I know that brings back a lot of memories, but Doug is very passionate about this subject because he was, that's who he's talking about, is himself.
Yeah, he lived through that shit.
He lived through a mass shooting at his church.
Yeah. When I was like 13 years old, you know, and it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. And like when I see this happening at our schools, like Sandy Hook, you know, where they're, you know, with a young kid, you can't help but like think about it, you know? And I get super emotional about it because it is so preventable. And yet, the United States is just fucking horny for their guns, and I don't know, like these dudes think that like, oh, look at this big ass gun I got. This is equal to the size of my dick when it's not. Like it's obnoxious and it's stupid, and it's clear that we don't give a shit about our kids, and it fucking pisses me off. It is just how terrifying that is. So Kev, when you say like I don't care about your guns because it doesn't affect me, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't affect you yet. But with this increase in gun violence and stuff, because there's no fucking restrictions that like anyone's given a fuck about, it's just a matter of time. Like it is, whether it be you experiencing a mass shooting yourself, a loved one you know having one, family members, whatever it may be, one of us, one of our kids, one of our listeners, one of our listeners' kids, whatever it is, like it's just a matter of time. And so I'm very sorry, everyone that's having to deal with this right now on the show, because it is super political. But yeah, when you come after my fucking video games, Trump, because you won't fucking grow some testicles, and when he says, "Oh, my son can play whatever he wants, but I'm gonna go after like everyone else's, like it's everyone else's kids that's the problem." No, dude, whatever. Like you can't pick and choose. Your family's just as fucked as everyone else's family in the United States. The kid's not from goddamn Saint. So,
hey, way to bring it back into video games.
Yeah,
I
good
like
segue.
Good segue. All right. So let's get on to the next subject, which, well, actually, it kind of goes on to the same subject, where the game devs are setting up a roundtable to discuss how they can counter anti-loot box legislation. So that is interesting. I don't see the biggest problem with this is the fact that loot boxes are considered, and they should be considered, gambling. Because it is, and it hits that nerve. And the fact that the game devs are not willing to recognize this and say, hey, we should be responsible. They're like, fuck, we make billions of dollars off of this. There's no way that we can let the government get involved and stop this from happening. That's kind of shady in my eyes. And I don't like that. And what was it? I saw an article a while back, and it was just like, dude, like, just let a video game be a video game. You pay $60. Let me have my game. Don't put things behind a fucking loot box where there's a chance I can get a better weapon or some shit. Like, let me earn it. Let me just have it. Like, let me just enjoy the experience instead of locking things away. Or just make DLC. Like, make it. I'll pay for the DLC. Just don't put it from the fucking loot box, man.
Yeah.
And so, but the ESRB, they're trying to help with this as well. They're going to start putting labels on each game that has an in-game purchase in it. So whether it be loot boxes or item packs or things like that, you're going to get a new label on starting here pretty soon. Okay. So
I just hope it's nothing like, like the old school, like parental advisory, like on CDs.
No, it's going to be, listen, the ESRB is there to help these publishers,
right.
sell video games. So it's going to be on the back, and it's going to be small, and it's just going to live there, and so that way when parents don't look at the fucking game anyways, won't see it.
I mean, Who buys games in the store anymore?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Like, what was the last game one of you guys? Okay, Kev, you may not count because you used to buy the collector's editions of things. But what was the last?
Yeah,
game
I haven't bought one in a very long time.
Game you guys bought in the store?
Actually, I just bought Call of Duty, World War II on Xbox to play with my wife, and I bought that physically because the GameStop had a sale on it for $40. So, but even then, I mean, it's a dying trend. I think.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I think some of the last games I got, honestly, might have been the ones that you sent me, Kev. The Last of Us remastered and Infamous Second Son. I do not think I've purchased a physical copy of a video game since, because either it's on Steam and I buy it on my computer because that's my preferred way of gaming now.
Yeah.
Or it's a digital copy. Like I've gotten a couple games on PlayStation's store, digitally. And probably, I mean, again, I've done a lot on the Xbox because most of those games I can play on the PC. So
yeah, but it's a convenience thing. I mean, especially nowadays where games unlock at midnight. It's like, okay, cool. I can go to a midnight release at a GameStop, spend gas money, stand in line with some people, probably some pleasant, some not, and then just go through that experience. Or I could just hang out in my underwear at home and watch the countdown clock.
And
be able to preload and all that and just be ready to go at midnight.
I love not leaving my house if I don't have to. I tried to talk my wife this weekend into ordering some food through Uber Eats because I didn't want to drive to like 2 blocks to McDonald's.
She said no, right?
Yeah, I had to go to McDonald's. So she's like, I'm not gonna pay somebody to do something you can go do. It's like, well, why don't we order pizza ever? Because like I just go pick that up also.
And now she's gonna make you do that.
No, fuck that. But yeah, so if I don't have to leave my house at all, like, yeah, I mean, even if I was to buy a game, I'd probably pre-order it off of like Amazon or something because I get a discount. And that's another thing. I can pretty much guarantee if I'm gonna buy a game on PC, I'm gonna get it for like $20 cheaper than if I bought it in store because of.
I don't think Amazon does digital games for discounts, right? It's all physical, isn't it?
No, they do digital now.
Yeah,
digital discounts with Prime. Really? Good to know. Yeah, and it's just me personally, I stop buying physical unless I have to, but because it's
nobody wants to switch out the disc.
Right, that's the thing. Yeah, I'm serious. I don't want to switch out the disc. I've got an external hard drive on my PS4, so I can store up to like 3 terabytes of stuff. So I can just download any game I want and just
do it. You have preloading as well. Like,
yeah, so I don't have to worry, and I can take it on the go. If I go to a friend's house, Jeremy, if I go stay with you for a couple days, I could load my library onto your PS4,
which you have.
Yeah, exactly.
You did the last time. Remember when we played PT and you ended up in Doug's lap?
Hold on. That's not how I remember that.
Go on.
I very much remember Jeremy being in my lap. It's an experience I will never forget.
On a side note, Twan brings up a good point too. Like, I mean, about buying physical, he said he bought Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns and Battlefield Hardline Walmart last year because he found them in the clearance aisle for $5. So if you find them on clearance, yeah, go for it. But I'm talking buying brand new $60 games. It's really, I don't know.
What was it? My last game I think I bought was the latest. I bought the latest. Oh, what the fuck was it? Uncharted 4. I bought that just because I found it on sale on Amazon and I got it for like $10. So that's the only reason why I bought it. Other than that, I would have bought it digital.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of my games near, like on my stand here, which I need to bring most of my library in here, but I just haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say something. I don't remember what.
Let's move.
Yeah, and Chud Fu says digital is a lifesaver for VR. I agree. I've got like 90% of my PSVR games are digital.
Battlefield. Okay, the next story. Battlefield. The next Battlefield game is set to be announced at E3. It looks like it's already, and it's going to be called Battlefield 5, and we're going back to World War II.
Really?
Yep.
I mean, they struck gold with World War One.
I guess that was the plan the entire time, was that they were worried that World War One wasn't hit, and so they were like, well, if this is going to fail, we're going to go back to World War II. And so that was the plan all along anyways. So there you go.
Cool.
And
I'm actually really enjoying Call of Duty World War II as well. I mean,
there's something about
the multiplayer is pretty fun.
There's something about like the Second Great War, that's like a lot of fucking fun. Like it shouldn't be because it was terrible.
Hold on. Can I get the soundbite, please?
Yeah. No. But think about all the movies that have been made about it, all the adventure movies, and like Indiana Jones taking place at that time period, and then you have like, yeah, I mean, Nazis are the perfect villain. If it's not if it's not a zombie,
Nazis.
It's a Nazi.
You don't feel bad about killing zombies,
and then
or
if you
sorry, not zombies or Nazis. So it's a double win.
So if you want to like feel really good about what you're killing, you make them Nazi zombies, right? And then it's just fucking goldmine.
Yeah,
but I don't. It's an interesting time of war where it was like you're starting to see the how fucking vicious humans can be, really.
Mm-hmm.
Where just the jump in like technology in those 30 years or so in between the two wars. It's pretty insane.
And will ever I think World War II is like we captured so much of it in pictures and video. Like we weren't able to do that with any past war. So it's interesting to have all this documentation.
Not as readily, right? I mean, because they definitely have pictures from like the Civil War, which is fucking bonkers to me. But
stand still for 10 minutes while we get the flash set up.
No shit. Seriously though. And they found some recent, like a couple years ago. I say recently, a couple years ago, that were like actually color photos from like the Civil War or something like that, because like 1865 or whatever. And it was just like, this technology existed then? Like, are you kidding me?
Someone colorize it.
They were taking selfies with these huge cameras.
I think so. It was either World War I or it was the Civil War, but I feel like it was the Civil War because I really feel like I remember being like, that existed then? Like, why didn't we? What? But it might have been the First World War. But but still though, that's like 100 years ago, like almost exactly. I think it ended in 1917. Yeah. When did World War I end? I don't know anything about history.
29.
29.
I don't.
We could Google it real quick and then look smart.
I know that there was stuff going on in 17.
Let's see.
In the chat, was it Badachu? Says, so these are the nerds I found on Spotify. That's
good to know.
We're them.
Hey.
Also, band's here. Hi, band.
We got faces for the radio.
Okay, did we find out when this war happened?
No, I was typing somebody. Sorry,
I was just looking at the next story.
Oh my god!
World War I years.
You don't just put this on us.
It was July 28th to November 11th, 1918. It was World War I. World War II was
1945.
39 to 45.
Yeah. So we're at almost 100 years of that war being complete. If it ended in 1918, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, thank you for the subscription.
Yeah, thanks for the subscription. Also, Random Heroes resubscribed for 8 months.
What?
That's almost a year.
You both get one of these.
Oh. No, and QE just subscribed to Twitch Prime. Yay! Thanks, QE.
Do it. Give it to him.
Oh.
Activision is planning on remastering their classic IPs.
Yay.
And they're going to do more.
Yay.
So you can expect some other cool stuff. Like Spyro the Dragon.
I'll say, didn't Spyro? I just heard about Spyro.
Yeah,
recently.
they just are. Spyro is coming back. They're going to remaster it. All three.
He never really went away, right? Spyro's. I mean, that's all the fucking Skylander shit.
No, we know that.
Wait,
okay, then don't say he's coming back.
Wait,
yeah,
hold on.
No.
Huh? I didn't. Wait, what?
Skylanders was Spyro the Dragon the whole time.
What a twist!
This is not fucking M. Night Shyamalan.
Did you guys hear? Skylanders was Spyro the whole time.
God damn it! Spoiler alert. Man, thanks for the bits. Awesome.
I'm gonna go home.
You are. you are home.
One last story, and it's a biggie. Nintendo. This happened 2 minutes ago. Just got updated. Nintendo has officially said that Mario is a plumber again. They changed it back. He is a plumber again.
Did they put a press release out for this? Was this something they had to hold an event for?
They probably did. I listen. This is breaking news. It's hot off the press.
Yeah, do you not remember? You remember like a month ago or so, where they were like, "Oh, hey, Mario, not a plumber anymore."
Yeah,
and people went, "The fuck are you talking about?
Then what's he wearing? Yeah.
About the same time he had nipples, and people.
Oh, I remember
fucking
that.
minds. So
I mean, yeah, it's good to know he had nipples, I guess.
What? What?
It just, it answered all my questions from being a kid.
what?
What?
You were asking those questions as a kid?
Hey, inquiring minds.
Oh man! All right, well, stick around because we've got some more show for you coming up next. And for this one, it's done though. We're done. Finito.
Yeah, for those that are in the stream, stick around because we are going to record another episode after this.
That's right.
Double your punch.
That's it. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Doug.
I'm Kevin.
Till next week. Lots of love, hugs, and all that bullshit.